Okay, so welcome back to part 3 of us discussing identity and access management and its component. So in our previous video, we created a user group, as you can see, and we had to attach administrator access to the user group. We created a user called admin TDME, and we had to attach this user to that group that we created, and automatically he inherited the administrator access permission, and also it has a direct permission attached to it because we told AWS that we want the users to change the password at the first login. Okay, so that is it. So now today we are going to see how we can enable MFA. Remember I told you each user, each entity in the cloud should be have an additional security apart from the username and password known as MFA multi-factor authenticator. Okay, so today we are going to enable MFA. We are going to create what is known as the access key and attach this user. Access key is basically us using a set of credentials known as the access ID and the secret access key through a programmatic interface like the CLI, okay, or the terminal to access our AWS resources. They are basically three methods. You either use your console, what I'm using the GUI, or you use the CLI, or you use SDK. But I'm going to focus more on the GUI, which I've shown you, and I'll also show you, and the CLI, which we were going to see in the past. So today we are going to enable MFA. We are going to create the secret access key of this particular user. Then I'm going to show you how to set up the CLI on your computer and access your resources using CLI. So moving straight into why we are here, first thing we need to enable MFA. So how do you do that? So when you log into your account, you go to IAM, go to that particular user, you click users, you click the particular user, you go under security credentials, you scroll down. What you need to do is locate MFA. So we are going to click on assign MFA. And before you get here, remember I told you you need to download some multi-factor authenticator apps on your phone. If you're using Google, if you're using Android, go on Google Play Store and download any of the authenticator app. If you're using iPhone, go on App Store and download any of the authenticator app of your choice. So I'm going to give it admin TDME. So I'm going to give the name of this particular user, okay, to my MFA device name. So I'm going to scroll down. I'm going to use authenticator app, okay, and I'm going to click on next. Now on my phone, I'm going to open the authenticator app that I want. So when I click on show QR code, when I open the authenticator app, I'm going to click on scan. So I will scan this code, which I've done so. Then I'm going to wait for uh okay. So now if you remember the steps, some codes will be generated, okay, that you need to input here. These codes are generated every 30 seconds, so you need to be fast, okay, after you must have scanned. So this is the first one, so I'm waiting for the second one, so you need to give it some time and you need to be fast. So these are the codes that you'll be needing in the future to access your account. So this is the second one, 793. So and I click add MFA. So they said this input is wrong, it's 6 digit. So I need to start over again. It simply means I made a mistake. So you wait. So as I said, this code, you will need this code in future to access your account. Now you need only one, but when setting up, you need two. Okay. So the next one is present. So let me just type it 304 and I click add. And that is it. We have successfully assigned or attached MFA to this particular user, which will be helpful whenever we want to access our cloud platform using this particular user via the graphic user interface. So when you do that, you'll see that the MFA security recommendation has turned from the danger sign to a normal sign enabled. Okay, so next we need to create an access key that will be used for programmatic access. So we scroll down, see under security credentials. Directly below MFA, you can add, okay, more MFA. You can delete or deactivate this one. So we locate access key and we click on create access key. Now these are the different use cases. So you want to use it for on a command line, local codes, application running AWS, computer services, third parties, application running outside AWS or others. Now I always tell people, if you don't know where you want to use it, go with others. Okay, if you don't know where you want to use it, go with others. But since we know that we want to use it on our CLI, okay, so we select CLI, then we acknowledge that we understand what we are doing, okay, because it's dangerous. So we acknowledge that we know what we are doing, and they are telling us that you must use the AWS CLI version 2, which is an application that you need to download. Okay, it's a file that you need to download from the internet and do what and configure it on your computer. So I'm going to walk you through that. But for now, select CLI, acknowledge this, and you click next. So now you give it a tag. So I'm going to give it admin tdemi. Okay, I can put hyphen access credentials, and I click create access key, and that is it. And also remember, after the creation of the access key, always make sure you download the CSV file because it contains the access key ID and the secret access key. Once you leave this page without downloading that particular CSV file, I bet you there will be no way for you to get this particular secret access key. You only have to come back, delete this access key, and create a new one. So always remember to download the CSV file and you click on done. So that's basically how you attach MFA to a particular IAM user and create an access key for that particular IAM user. So the last thing we are going to do for today is we're going to access our AWS resources using this IAM user. And what do we need? We need the console sign in URL, the username, and the password. So I'm going to open my computer. I'm going to go to that file that I downloaded. Remember when we're creating the user, we downloaded the CSV file. Here is it. So I'm going to double click on it to open it. Okay, you double click on it to open it. So while it's opening, let me minimize it. So as I said, you need three things. You need the sign in URL, which you can copy. You need the username of this particular user, which I can get it from here. It's called admin tdemi, and you need the password, which will be gotten from that CSV file that we downloaded. So while we are waiting for the Excel file to open, one thing you should know is there's something known as multi-session on AWS. Okay, let me just show you. So if you go to your right top of your screen, there's something known as multi-session support. That simply means you can open two AWS user on the same browser. At first, you could not. If you try to do that at first, AWS will automatically sign you out from the active user and open a new one. But now AWS has enabled something as multi-session, which simply means my root account can be opened on a particular browser, and on a new tab on that same browser, I open an IAM user. So always enable this, because if you don't, when you try to log in with your IAM user on that same browser, AWS is going to log you out from the root user. So I'm going to turn on multi-session because I need it. So you just simply click on turn on multi-session. Okay, and you wait. If you don't want to turn on multi-session, it's simple. Just use two different browsers for this demonstration. Okay, you can use Chrome and Edge. Okay, if you want. So let's go back and verify. We click here. That is it. That's a success message. It has been enabled. You can turn it off if you want. Okay, by doing so, we'll be able to open our root account on one browser, and we're still going to be able to open our IAM user on the same browser. So what do I need? I need to copy this. I open a new tab and I paste and I hit enter. Okay, so we wait. It's going to load to a login page where we need to input some stuff. So why it's trying to open? So let me open my Excel sheet. This is my Excel sheet. Okay, so these are the information that it's needed, that you always need, that you share with your user since you are the admin. So this is the username, this is the password, and this is the sign in URL which we have already. So let's go back to our console, our browser, and see. So it's taking more time. Oh, it has not opened. So let me just close this. So I come here. Let's copy this and see. Open a new tab and we paste and we wait. Okay, so we are going to use another method, and the method is we're going to click here. So let me just close this. So we're going to click here and we are going to do what? We're going to add a new session. I think that's an update from AWS. So for you to log into an IAM user when your root user is open, so just come here, click on add session. So this is a page I needed. So you see automatically my ID, my alias has been added. If you don't have an alias, you're going to see your account ID here. So I'm going to give that is a name. So I'm going to go to my Excel sheet and copy the password. Make sure the name that is admin tdemi. I minimize this, I put the password and I sign in. It says authentication information is incorrect. Let me go back again and copy. So let me copy the username sometimes. Paste. Okay, so now they are asking for MFA. That is it, successful. So I'm going to open my multi-factor authentication app. I go to my MFA. Now I'm going to input my MFA, that's 783813, and I click sign in. So what it's going to do is now going to, prompt me to change the password. If you remember, we told AWS that when the user is trying to log in for the first time, the user should be able to change the password. So I'm going to copy the old password. Then I'm going to put a new one, respecting my security policy. Okay. Remember, password must be at least 8 characters, uppercase, lowercase, number, and the rest. So I click on confirm password change and I click on continue to sign in. So AWS is telling me for error, you may have typed the address incorrectly or blah 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 blah. Yeah, so there's no problem with that. Let's refresh and see. Okay, so this is our IAM admin user. That was an error. It was a temporary error. All I needed was just to, close that session and open again, which I did, and that is it. I have successfully logged in. If you can notice, if I go to the root, you notice it is root. When I come to the IAM user, you notice it is what? Admin tdemi, the name of the IAM user. Okay, it's the same thing. Okay, you can get your root account ID here. Okay, you can, change your region here if you want. Settings, you go here, you put dark, you change the language if you want. You can see contact support and all the rest, notification, cloud share, search for services. Okay, when you scroll down, you have a summary of everything. So this is basically how you can, you know, access your AWS resources from the IAM user. So the reason is whenever you create an account, always make sure to create an IAM user, an admin IAM user for your daily usage. Do not use your root account for your daily tasks, okay? And when you create your IAM, the first IAM account, always make it an admin access. Give it an admin access so that you can, as well do so many things and the rest. But remember, the admin access does not mean it has the same power like the root. Okay, like for example, the IAM admin user cannot do some certain things when it comes to billing and cost management. But the root user can do that. Those are some slight differences. So that is it for today. In the next video, I'm going to show you on how to basically set up AWS CLI on your Windows computer. And we are going to use the secret access key that we created to also log into our AWS resources. And from there, you will be comfortable and you have the idea on how to do what to access your cloud resources from the GUI using your IAM user and also from the CLI using the same IAM user but through what the CLI. So that is it for today. Thank you, stay tuned, and bye for now.